Hello everybody, welcome again to the another one Hero Tongues podcast. My name is Bart.
My name's Adam.
And today we are gonna talk about body language.
Body language. So this is like around a B2, C1 level. So a bit more lesson based, but it's also an open chat as well. But there's a little bit of lesson-y, English-y type of stuff in there as well. Stuff. So let's talk about body language. Body language in everyday life. We can start with that footing, you would say. Why is it important? And this is like big questions, but body language in everyday life.
First thing first, we are doing it all the time unconsciously.
Unconsciously, yeah. Unconsciously, but let's talk about the unconscious stuff first. So, body language in everyday life, unconsciously. What is it? Why do we do it? What's going on?
Yeah, when you see something, you can wave to somebody, for example.
That's positive.
Yeah, that's positive. When you are nervous, you can do some
you look
like
stressed, but you can even appear stressed. So.
What else?
Greeting people. Conveying a message, so sending a message to someone. Like I'm doing this with my hands now.
Yeah,
we see
when you are explaining something, you are moving hands. I'm doing it all the time.
Politicians do it all the time. The police do it when they talk. They do this or they do this.
Yeah, but politicians have they are doing it consciously. Because
they are consciously, exactly.
Yeah,
so.
Because there is a lot of psychological tricks that they are using to catch the people. So, for example, when you are holding hands like that, you feel more open to people. Yeah. People feel that you are more open for them. Like imagine the politician who is sitting like this and saying something. That's
so appearances.
They need to be confident in their body language.
Confidence in body language. So that would be called keeping up appearances. So you appear confident. And that was one of Muhammad Ali's biggest statements. He said, even when he's not feeling confident, he appears to be confident and then he feels confident. So sometimes you can fake being confident and you actually get a little bit of real confidence from that as well, because other people perceive you as being confident and that then feeds you, and it's like a little circle, a little boomerang, what goes around. So what are your top 3 in everyday life? We're not talking about working life, anything like that. So everyday life, what are your top 3 body language tips? Yeah.
So
like things that you use, things that you do. What do you do with your body language day to day?
I know when I'm explaining something to somebody, like right now, I'm using this type of the movement.
Yeah.
I don't think about it, I'm just doing it.
So it's like you're swimming.
Sometimes when I'm blocked with something, I can move couple.
So if you wanted to skip forward, So do you do anything with your shoulders apart from your hands?
In the shoulders, when I'm confused or something, I can do a movement like that.
It's called a shrug.
What else?
So you use it a lot in daily life when you're explaining something.
Yeah.
You tend to move your hands around a lot.
For example, when you want to when you want to let somebody go first to the doors, you can just do movement like this with hand.
Yeah.
That's easy one, and it means to somebody that, please go first.
So I'll give you a little bit of a test here. I'll give you a little bit of
like the test.
Okay. I'll give you something like, so if somebody does something, just like you just did, look, I said I'm going to give him a test. And he did this. He did it. So he's feeling nervous now. So everybody can see this. All the viewers can see it. So he can relax like this. So I see he's relaxing. Now that means he's ready for the challenge. So he was nervous, but now he's ready for the challenge. So he's like a Superman now, like this. So it's just from me saying the word test.
You read me like in a book.
Yeah, it's like a test. So what happens when somebody does this on their head? Why did they do that?
Yeah, this is called facepalm, and probably somebody did something wrong
or stupid,
which was like obvious to not do.
What would that mean?
That could mean that go away. Spad eye.
That means go away with you. What happens if you go, oh?
That means that you are tired of something, or for example, you are explaining to somebody something thousandth time,
and
like he or she didn't get it.
Like a new apprentice at work, to open a program, you do this. Oh, oh shit. Okay, so what would that mean?
That means that something smells really
See,
bad.
these are like easy ones. So these are easy ones. So these are like not so subtle, you would say, and people use them all the time. We've been using them since childhood.
What time is it? You can.
That's the common Polish one, without being like institutionally racist towards Polish people. One of the biggest things is the train platform and everybody tapping their watch doing this. Because like the train's going to come any faster because they're doing this with their watch. And then they start looking down the platform, even the wrong way. They start looking down the platform thinking, this train must hurry up. Where's my train? Even though it's like not due to arrive for another 3 minutes yet, why would it be early? Do you know what I mean? So it's a very common thing that I see happening here a lot. Okay, well, the last two.
This one?
If somebody goes, or they go,
they forgot about something, probably.
They forgot about it, or they saw something quite bad.
Yeah.
That's another good one. And you just did this one. What's that mean?
When I'm ready to fight.
Yeah. So that means you can show anger when you do this. So they're really basic ones. They're really basic ones. So what about if you see someone and they're doing this with their leg? What can that mean? Sometimes. Or moving their feet.
Stressed or
could be stress or excitement. It could be stress or excitement.
I'm doing it right now, but I'm not stressed. But I'm just.
But you're in a state of excitement probably because it's interesting record, you know. But you see a lot of like fighters do that as well. They move their feet and stuff, and they can be a bit like hyperactive, you would say. But it's actually a state of readiness. You're actually fully awake. You're just excited in the moment. So it can be stress, or you've done something wrong. But it can also show that you're just excited and you've got life inside of you, basically. What about tapping the fingers with someone?
That means that somebody's programmer.
Yeah.
Somebody is from IT.
They're taking their work home with them. They're taking
typing in finger, I have no idea.
Impatience. So if someone's like, they're waiting, it means you can be impatient, or you're just thinking about something else. So like, another question as
I think that in impatience right now, people are taking the phone from the pocket, seeing it, there is nothing for sure, putting it back.
That's another
left,
thing.
right, and again. Left, right, and again.
But I think that becomes, that kind of a body language becomes a habit.
Yeah.
So I've noticed this with a lot of younger people. It's like a social... how would you say it?
Disability.
A social disability. That's actually that's actually quite an exact way of saying it, like a social disability. So it's a social disability because you have an inability to be social.
I can mention one funny stuff that I saw last time. I drive by train a lot of time.
Okay, you pass by the train.
And I saw one guy who was like 15. Yeah. And he scrolled the TikTok, and I sit next to him. He scrolled the TikTok, nothing special right now nowadays. And now I see that he started scrolling it really slow.
Yeah.
I rattled my head, and I saw that he was asleep, and with closed eyes, he scrolled the TikTok like this.
He was just doing it. Well, that's a new one.
Yeah.
That's a new one. Because I remember when personal computers, this is how old I am, but personal computers were released properly. And people started getting like problems with their wrists because of the mouse. So they started making pads or like ergonomic pads. And they started doing the big ball and all that. So now it's the phone. You can actually get phone finger with your people.
Hot finger?
Yeah, and you get something like wrong with your digit in your finger. But another one is, like you said, a social disability. I know it's quite humorous, but it's actually quite weighted, that statement. People have an inability nowadays, some people, to be social. Even though they're social on social media, they're unable to be social. So what they do is, with the body language is, you can be coming up to an interaction with someone where maybe you've met at a sliding door or a rotating door, and you're going to hold the door open, but instead of making eye contact with you, they look on their phone. But their phone screen's black, or they're not really looking at anything. They're just doing it to do it, so they don't have to look at you.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that with a lot of younger people, you can be quite friendly with someone and say, oh, hello, and they'll just look down at their phone because they think it's easier to do that than to actually have an interaction. But they're on social media, but they're unsociable people. So that's a strange body language, what we just talked about just then. Another one is, can it be misinterpreted? So when you interpret a message, you respond to a message, think, I know what that means. Can it be misunderstood? Can it be misinterpreted? Body language. So if I frown at you, do I mean I'm mad, or do I mean I'm just trying to get you to understand something?
Depends.
Or is it just my mannerism?
Depends in which way will you do it.
Does it depend where you come from?
Yeah.
Talk about, Paul, you're an expert on Polish people. So talk about Polish people, I can talk about English people. So is a frown kind of normal in Poland?
What is normal?
A frown, like a bit of this kind of a look. Is that more normal than in Britain, would you say? Because a frown in Britain means you're upset, you're sad. Whereas in Poland, I think that can just be the look sometimes. Yeah. People can be quite focused and straight-faced, whereas English people can wear a lot of emotions on their face. They wear a lot of emotions on their face.
Maybe because English people have more interaction with each other?
Exactly. So can it be misunderstood? Yeah. So when for instance, when you make an order, like on the phone or something, you just straight to the order, make the order. Whereas I'd made it like, are you okay today? How are you today? And whereas sometimes when you make an order on the phone, it's like, I want this, and when will it be ready? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just what people understand. It's the language the computer speaks. So I think body language in different countries can be misunderstood. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, in Polish and also in the European countries, when you are moving head like this, that means yes, but I don't know exactly in which country, but if you do something
disrespectful.
Like
yeah, it can be. Also, like, like physical interaction, so like you would never touch a Chinese person on the head. You would never touch the head, or maybe different people from different ethnic backgrounds, you would never touch them. So that can be a sign of disrespect, like I'm better than you, so I'm allowed to touch your head. So the head's like the highest point on the body, and the best that you don't touch that. Then like shaking hands with your left hand instead of your right hand. But like body language is really strange as well. How we're programmed to do different body language. So if I do that to Bart, did you see what he did? He did it automatically. You didn't even think about that. It's really weird. But then the second time, if I tried him again now, he'd be like, he'd want to, but look at what he did now. Look at what he did. He thought, how did Adam make me shake his hand? I'm not happy with this.
I will stay like that.
So now he's like that. He's like
the podcast.
Yeah. But it's interesting. So that wasn't pre-programmed. I just went to lean forward. And if you look at where you want, if you look at, not even in the eyes, if you look down, someone will shake your hand. There was a guy doing a social media experiment, like a social experiment. He used to walk around. He was called Shaky Hands Man. And he would go to like movie openings with famous actors, and he'd see how long he could shake the hand for before they realised, I've been shaking this guy's hand for like 4 minutes now. I need to let go. And then he got famous, and it wasn't an experimental. But he'd go to Tom Cruise, for example. Oh, it's a nice movie. It's nice to meet you. And they'd be shaking hands for 5 or 6 minutes, and the guy wouldn't even realise. So it's quite strange how body language can guide an interaction. So body language is super important, basically. This is what the lesson and the podcast is about, basically. So we've talked about that. So and you've talked about it. So I want to delve a bit deeper into this. How do politicians use, and people of power, not just politicians, people of power, how do they use body language to their advantage, in your opinion?
How they are using it?
Yeah, how do they do it? Like, why do they do it? But we know why.
I think that they are working with psychologists, and
so they have coaching in this. Like you have coaching in sport, they have coaching in how to convey a message.
I think that speaking is the skill. Public speaking is the skill, like doing some sport, doing some other things.
They have a club in Poland and also everywhere. I forgot what it's called. It's like a public speaking course you can go on, and you pay to go on. Yeah, and you practice this. Similar to podcasting.
Yeah, exactly, because a lot of people are afraid to public speaking, and it's not like...
Definitely, you get hot, people get hot.
Yeah.
They get even though it's their body language, they get quite uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who are kind of the confident people, but when they need to go to some stage or say something, they were shaking and they couldn't say anything because
adrenaline, covered in adrenaline.
Yeah, and generally killed them, I would say.
It killed the moment, yeah. But then sometimes the the first 5 seconds of your speech is the most important.
Yeah.
And if you can get over the mountain, it becomes really easy.
I mean, personally, I have no problem with that, with things like that, because I did it a lot of time. Also in English, I think that it's not a problem already for me. It was before.
Do you know what's the most important thing as well? Is with anything, with speaking or body language, is if you have something important to say, if it's interesting and you feel strongly convicted in yourself to say it, you'll say it anyway. So if you're saying something that you don't know anything about, or if you're saying something you feel uncomfortable with, or you have no knowledge of, or you're not interested in, it's boring. And that's when you start getting the nerves.
Yeah.
But if you have something interesting to sell or say, you'll do it well because you believe in it.
But also I have like...
And you'll see that.
Yeah, I
in your
have
body.
two type, how to say it?
2 types of personalities.
No. I wanted to say that when I do some public speaking or some presentation, I'm doing like 2 things. So first one is kind of the preparation. I mean, it's like huge topic we could speak about.
But we just want to go all on the surface. We're not going too
first
deep.
thing first, have some glass with water next to you.
Okay.
Because when you have problem with something, you can just drink.
And that gives you a couple of seconds to think about something.
And people think that you are just drinking because you're
thirsty.
Yeah, you're thirsty, not because.
But really, you've skipped the chapter and you've gone to the next thing. Very good. Yeah.
Oh, fine. Yeah. I can drink something, make like 3 seconds break.
Bart drinks with his eyes. But he couldn't then. But he forgot.
That wasn't done at all.
Normally, Bart drinks with his eye.
Yeah, exactly. What just happened? And I can just make a break for drink that give me like 3 or 4 seconds to think about things that I will go through with. And second thing, I'm just writing the points I'm scheduled the thing which I will talk about, especially with the thing
bullet points.
Yeah, bullet points.
And then in your mind you can open them up into different chapters.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not writing exactly word by word what I will talk about. I'm just making a bullet points. So if I have like presentation about something, I can make like 5 to divide the topics to the start, main things, extend these main things, and like how to end it up.
Yeah. But ultimately, how you convey the message, how you send the message is the most important. Sometimes, I've been reading a lot about this recently. Sometimes it's not the message. The message is not the most important thing. It's the imagery behind the message. It's not even what you're selling or what you're saying or what you're giving to someone. It's how you do it. And the body is your vessel, your system to do that in public speaking. You could be talking about cushions. You could be talking about cushions and why they're important to everyday life. You could make that really interesting and really funny, and people would listen and buy them cushions, or they'll just be interested about your cushions.
This is cushions in English?
Yeah,
I didn't know
cushion. This is the cushion. This is the cushion.
You
have a pillow. You have a pillow for bed. You have a cushion for the sofa, or for the settee if you come in England.
We need to set this with our logo.
This is a sofa in American English.
Yeah.
In British English, it's a settee.
Oh.
So you call it something else. So you would call it a cushion.
Yeah, and I'm doing this type of the bullet points, and and sometimes I can forget about something or not be like 100% sure about something, so I can skip it and go to the next one.
Yeah,
I mean, people.
It's big. Yeah, it is interesting.
If somebody is interested of the topic, probably person like this will ask a later question, but most of the people are afraid to ask a question, so that's how it looks like.
Yeah.
And the second thing is that people don't care.
Yeah.
At all.
And also, some people come to public speaking. So now we've just delved on to the next podcast, but sometimes when you delve into public speaking, people will only come for certain sections about what you want to say, because they'll see what you want to read when we've done public speaking before, and they'll think, I'm not really interested in that bit, but I'm interested in the guy after him or the woman after him, so I'll stay for his because I'll have a good seat. But they'll think what you're going to think. I'm interested in the middle part though, about software production and why it's important to this industry. So they're not really listening to the first bit. They're playing on their phone. They're making it. Then they'll listen to the middle part. So, but sometimes people listen to the full thing, so it's important to start off the right way and get people's attention, and you've got the hooks into them. Everything's different, but body language is the vessel to sell what you want to say, basically.
Yeah. I also, when I'm doing the presentation, I'm like to include some memes.
You can do. Humour is always the best one. But I can be quite funny naturally with my body, not with what I say. So, because I'm quite tall and like gangly and stuff, I can be quite funny. So I'm normally naturally quite clumsy, so I would include that in public speaking. But I think that's it really. That's a basic skimming the surface of body language. We're just talking about body language and its importance and why people do it, basically. And Bart drinks with his eye.
Yeah.
Noticed that. There's a film, just to finish on this. I'm not selling this film. It's a very old film. It's called Kevin and Perry. Have you heard that? Kevin and Perry. And there's a character in that. It's about two friends that want to go to Ibiza on a holiday. And they meet a DJ called Eyeball Paul. And he drinks shots of vodka through the eye. So that's Paul. That's Bart's new name, Paul. And he's called... Or Eyeball Bart, I'm going to start calling him. Because for some reason he drinks through his eye.
When some recruiter will ask me, do you have some special skills? I can drink water.
I can drink 1 milliliter per hour through my eye.
Exactly. And I think that we can end it up here. Yeah. Adam is an English teacher, and if you want to see his body language during the lessons, I really recommend it.
Yeah, it's quite funny.
Yeah.
But, so adamsenglishschool.com. I have a couple of free spaces at the moment before the busy time starts in September as well. And I cover business English, functional English skills, situational English, role plays. We can do lots of different kinds of English. So
first lesson is for free.
First lesson's for free. And tailored to your specific needs. Networking, improving, everything. Travel English. You name it, we can do it.
Exactly. I'm also his student. I'm preparing myself to the FC exam, and I really recommend
which you will pass.
Lessons with that. I hope so.
You will pass it. Positive self-talk.
Positive, exactly. I will pass it, but when
you will pass, that's the most important.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
thanks for listening today.
Thank you, and see you in the next one. Bye.